working on ECA countries, I find these are very hierarchical societies where the government at the top level is very different from the government at the lower level. So it's very important for us to remember that we can't be friends with people at the very top. And we can be much closer in our dialogue, more open in our dialogue with people at the lower level. That doesn't mean we can translate that relationship to the higher levels. This is also true of my experience in Russia, where my experience with federal government is much colder, more detached, more professional, whereas my relationship with more district level or rayons is or municipalities is much more closer, much more cordial, more friendly, more vodka. And this is very interesting. Why? Because we think this is the same country. In some cases, the municipality I visit is only 30 minutes away from Moscow, but still it's very different in terms of its culture. So sometimes we like to think of Russia, for example, as a homogeneous country, but it is not. It's very diverse, with very different ethnic groups and with very different cultural backgrounds. And this is very important in our work. Secondly, it's very natural for us to first try to make friends before we start talking business. And I think this is one thing where I learned in Russia that it is not necessary to do that. They don't, when you go to a meeting with an official, they want you to be professional. They want you to talk the subject matter that you want to talk about. After you talk about the subject matter, they may open up, they may not, to talk about general things. But it takes time. Don't try to push it. Because if you try to push it, they may think that you are more interested in being friends with them rather than doing business with them. Therefore, when we go as World Bank representatives on a particular mission with a very clear terms of reference, let's keep to it. Because if you keep to it, they will respect you because they have read your terms of reference and they are expecting to hear from you something substantive. And similarly, I have found another group of people, Armenians, who are much more friendly, much more open, even at the top level. And therefore, they are very different from what I would say are the Russians. They are more open at the top level. They are willing to listen. They are willing to debate. And they have the ability to agree to disagree in front of you, which may not be possible in all the countries. And therefore, I think the point here is that we cannot generalize situations from every country to the other country. ECA is a very diverse region. It's very different from country to country. Even the countries which used to be part of former Soviet Union are very different today.